Hello everyone, this is Jeremy and you are watching RetroFat. We are right now reviewing and reacting to Season 2 of Just the 10 of Us. Today's episode is the 11th episode of Season 2, 15th overall, and is titled Head of the Class. This episode was directed by Frank Bonner, written by Kate Boutillier, and it first aired on January 20th, 1989. This episode is one that I've always remembered pretty fondly, especially now that I'm an educator. I'm a professor. I used to be a high school teacher. I can look back on this, and there's just a lot of educational things in here, some psychological things in here. It's a really strong episode, and I'm sure I'll have a lot of teaching comments, so to speak, on this one. Now, let me first of all say that if you are new to this channel, I am working my way through. I will eventually get to every episode. I'm going to plan to keep doing one a week. Right now, I do them every Thursday, Throwback Thursday. In the event that these are pulled from YouTube, which Warner Brothers could pull them at any moment. I hope they don't, but they could. There will be nothing I can do about that. But if that happens, I will share these videos on the Just the 10 of Us Facebook group. If you do just a little bit of looking, Just the 10 of Us, 10, the numeric 10, not spelled out, you can find a group. Brooke Theus, Bill Kirkenbauer, Joanne Willette, I think Heidi Ziegler, they're all in this group as well. And every so often you'll get to kind of interact with some of the stars of the show as well. So that's pretty exciting. In the event these disappear, that's where they're going to go. I'll be honest, I'm a little nervous because next week's episode is the first one with the Lubbock Babes. And I just have a little sneaking suspicion that once the YouTube algorithm picks up some music, these might not be very long-lived, but we'll see what happens when that time comes. I do my best to respond to your comments. I can't always hit everyone. Sometimes, especially if they're nested comments, I don't always see them, but do know that I will eventually read them. I do appreciate them. I love that we have so many of us who are Just the 10 of Us fans have kind of found this show that's over 30 years old at this point and are still loving and celebrating it. So thanks for sticking with me so far. For now, let's watch Head of the Class.
What? The gum. We'll be seeing each of you individually in the kitchen.
Boy, I hate report card day.
Boy, I hate report card day.
Graham, I think we know what we have to do and who we have to do it to.
Yeah, but who in their right mind would buy our kids?
I don't see why any of you are worried about getting good grades. I mean, you don't need good grades. You're going to have men supporting you for the rest of your lives.
Hello! Everyone's tense. It must be report card day.
Well, of course you're not tense. You have a genius IQ.
Where did you hear that?
From you, about once a week.
Oh, yeah. Well, what can I say? I'm naturally brilliant.
And modest.
That too.
I have to comment that Marie, maybe, I could see her maybe being worried she had a bad grade or two. I don't really see Connie being that worried. She strikes me as a very academic person anyway. So her concern here was just a little, I don't know. I'm not sure that it fits. It makes sense. I don't really remember what happens next. So maybe the next few scenes will refresh me.
And I know I can win it, 'cause I'm learning the rules of the game. If I can stay on the ball, take it minute by minute, I just might make the Hall of Fame. What can I say? I'm doing it the best I can. Leaning on nobody but me. Oh, seeing it from where I stand. Nothing comes easy. Oh, I'm always bringing home second places at the end of every one of my days. A house with all of the
Well, we're pretty pleased with your work.
Pretty pleased?
Yeah, honey, we're happy you're doing as well as you are.
As well as I am?
Get out.
Get out?
Now.
Cindy?
Okay, so that one I guess makes a little bit more sense that they would be fine with it, but Connie might be such a, I don't know, either a self-flagellating writer that of course she would be displeased with her progress, or just, you know, such a perfectionist for her own performance that she would want to do better than she did.
I'll give it to you straight. All C's. Congratulations.
Honey, keep up the good work. Yeah. 1.
JR, I'll give it to you straight. All C's. Shame on you.
That can't be right.
You're going to have to buckle down, mister. Do you expect some woman to support you for the rest of your life? Honey, it's all right. 1 B- is not the end of the world.
But I wanted to get all A's to live up to my potential.
Oh, honey, take it easy. Did you ever think that maybe B- is your potential?
Okay, so I want to speak to all of this. That Marie, that was me as a child, up until college. I remember boo-hoo crying almost like that when I got my first C, which was in, of all things, Introduction to Computer Science. Now, granted, this was 1992 and computers were still basically used for Oregon Trail, but it really tore me up. I actually think I really respect Graham and Elizabeth for the way they handled Cindy C's versus JR C's, because we've established by this point, Cindy, bless her, is just not bright. And C, average for her, is probably really good, exceptional work. Whereas C's for JR, we know that he can do better than that.
Always. We couldn't be more impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You know, in some households, each A is recognized with a sizable cash award.
Your mother and I have been waiting for 5 minutes.
I'm sorry, Wheel of Fortune was on. It was the bonus round. Oh, Mom, if you could have seen Bella's outfit, it was...
Are you happy with these grades?
Are you happy with them?
Wendy, let me explain something to you about grades. A C is average. Do you want to be average?
Well, now, before I answer, I want to be clear. Are we talking about looks here?
Wendy, there's no reason that your grades can't be as good as Sherry's.
She's in the 4th grade. If I was in the 4th grade, I could kick butt.
Point is, Sherry could kick butt in your grade.
Well, sure, she's a genius, and I'm not.
Wendy, I'm going to tell you something here that I probably shouldn't.
When you went to school, you could have gotten all A's, but you settled for C's, and that's why your life has been a failure.
No.
Oh, it's just a guess.
Now, this is confidential information about you, and I don't want you to repeat it.
Graham, are you sure you know what you're doing?
I'm a professional educator. Wendy, remember when we came to California and the school made you take all those IQ tests?
Oh, you mean those ones where we had to color in the little circle thingies?
Yeah, the one with the little thingies. Well, I happen to know that you scored very high on those tests.
She did?
Well, how high?
Let's just say you're up there with Ted Koppel.
Who?
You know, the guy on TV that looks like Alfred E. Newman.
Oh, go on.
Well, he's a genius, and you're a genius.
Oh, get out of here.
You see, you have the highest IQ of anyone in the family.
Well, that's impossible. If I were a genius, I'd be getting all A's.
Bingo.
Higher than Sherry's?
Look, Sherry has nothing to do with this. Now, I don't want you to repeat this to anyone. Do you understand? Well, of course you understand. You're a genius. Now, get out there and start putting that special organ to work. Your brain, Wendy, your brain.
Oh, no.
Graham, you made all that up, didn't you?
Not all of it. Wendy did take an IQ test, and Ted Koppel does look like Alfred E. Newman.
I have to comment on this because I'm actually teaching a class right now for college freshmen. And today I had them read an article written by Duckworth and Seligman. Not important unless you want to look it up. But there was a study done that actually showed that your self-discipline has a much greater prediction on your performance in academic realms than your IQ. So basically what Graham did was, I think, pretty clever. By convincing Wendy that she was a genius, he has potentially upped her self-esteem, which could lead to an increase in her ability to work hard, that self-discipline, and that's going to have a bigger bearing than just IQ. I also want to say this. I do believe, just based on what we've seen in the show, that Wendy probably is the smartest person in this family. You're not going to be a schemer like that without having the intelligence to back it up. I think she may occasionally use her gifts for evil, but I think she is definitely up there. I think that's something that the show could have maybe explored if it had lasted longer. Now, Brooke Theus has made the comment on a podcast I listened to last summer that she thinks that after a little bit of time at like Stripper University, she probably would have gone into teaching. And I think that's kind of a fun thing to think about. But I'm going to stick with my Wendy is exceptionally bright and is probably, in fact, the smartest Lubbock. That is my theory, and I'm sticking to it.
Wendy, what's with you?
Oh, I'm sorry. My mind's not on my work.
That's okay. My mind takes a 3-day weekend sometimes, too.
Cindy, I need your help. Ask me a question.
Okay. How do you like my hair?
No, a question from the book.
Oh. Okay. Who said, give me liberty or give me earth?
Don't you mean death?
Ew, you're right.
Well, Patrick Henry.
That's right.
Well, quick, ask me another one.
Okay. What are the 3 branches of the federal government?
Executive, legislative, and the courts.
No, judicial.
That means the courts.
Wow, then that's right too.
Wow.
How'd you do that?
I don't know. I read the chapter and I just kind of remembered it.
Oh, wow. What other powers do you have?
So it's true.
What's true?
Well, I always knew that I was street smart, but now I find out that I don't need the street.
I'm not following this.
Well, see, Dad told me something really incredible today. Oh, but I can't tell anybody.
Oh, well then, never mind.
Well, okay, you wormed it out of me. According to Dad, I have the IQ of a genius.
Get out of here. You think I'm dumb enough to buy that you're smart?
Well, it's true.
Really?
I'll buy underwear.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
And all this time you've been hiding it from us so well.
Well, now you gotta promise not to tell anybody.
Oh, I won't. Sherry, guess who has the IQ of a genius?
Cindy?
No, it couldn't be Cindy.
You really didn't want anyone to know?
Well, thanks a lot.
Wendy's a genius. Where did you get that stupid idea?
I'm zipping my lip.
That's funny.
Well, it's true. Well, Dad told me that my IQ is the highest in the family.
Even higher than Sherry's?
Swear.
Damn it.
Swear it's true.
I swear.
On your underwear?
Yes. Now you have to promise not to tell anybody about this. I mean, this could be a crushing blow to some of the fragile egos in the family.
Oh, bet.
Oh, what's the matter? Smell yourself again?
JR, I'm in no mood for your idiotic sarcasm. I need your help.
You call me an idiot and you expect my help?
Have you ever looked up the meaning of the word idiot in the dictionary?
Well, yeah, of course I have.
Well, then you know the real definition of the word. Conniving, reckless, a risk taker.
Yeah, that's me.
I need someone like that to go on a secret mission of great importance.
What secret mission?
To return Wendy to the primal slime from whence she came.
I'm your idiot.
JR, I'm at the records room and it's all clear. JR, come in, JR. JR, get in here. JR.
I'm not JR. Use my code name.
Okay, Eagle.
That's better?
JR, stop clowning around. We're here to find Wendy's IQ test score that's in that room.
Wait, before you cross enemy lines, here's a suicide pill in case you get captured.
JR, what am I supposed to do with the Fred Flintstone vitamins?
Protect the security guard!
In here.
Hey, this is the ladies' can.
Creepers, creepers, where'd you get those peepers? Creepers, creepers, where'd you get those eyes?
Oh, that was close. Come on, JR.
Hey, there's an echo. Echo! Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Okay, the IQ test score should be on this roll. I've just got to advance to the L's.
Hey, Sherry, want to see my dachshund?
Maybe later. Ah, I love it, Wendy. She's not a genius, and she thinks she's the smartest one in this family.
Little does she know, she's as dumb as the rest of us.
As dumb as the rest of you, I'm still a genius.
Prove it. Let's see your score.
With pleasure. See? There I am. Lubbock Sherry.
Wait a minute. It's not the IQ score you're always bragging about. You tacked on 30 points.
My test in New York said I was a genius.
That was then. This is now.
Oh, no. Moving to California has made me stupid.
All right, a few quick comments on IQ scores. So Wendy said she's a genius. By most IQ tests, like the Stanford Binet, that's usually around 140. So if she tacked on 30 points, that means she was at least 110. One thing that's kind of interesting to note about that, worth noting especially, 110 is above average. And multiple studies have shown if your IQ is at least 115, which is just one standard deviation above normal, then you are intellectually bright enough that there is no field of study you could not succeed in. There's also a lot of psychologists who think IQ is vastly overrated and is a system we should drop entirely. But anyway, just sharing. If you ever get the chance to read the book Outliers by Malcolm Gladwell, there are a few chapters in there all about IQ. It's a really interesting, insightful read.
There's got to be some mistake. Everybody knows I'm the family genius.
Did you ever actually see these alleged IQ tests in New York?
Well, no. But I was told.
By who?
By a wise old nun who taught second grade. One day she took me aside and said, "Sherry, you're a special child blessed with the gift of intelligence. Great things are expected of you." And then she gave me a brochure to join her order.
So you never actually saw the results?
No.
Not very smart.
Wendy, what are you doing up at this hour?
Well, what does it look like I'm doing? I got my books, my pencil, my paper, my notes, my desk lamp.
With you, I need more clues.
I'm studying.
Really?
Well, how would it look if I got a B on my history test tomorrow?
Oh, it looked like you cheated. I'm sorry, honey. A B would be just fine.
Well, not for the smartest member of the family.
So you're actually studying?
Yes.
Oh, my, well, please. Don't let me disturb you. You go right back to it. And Wendy, be sure to turn the light off. Aha! So here are your sneaking out clothes.
Oh, nothing, honey, nothing.
I never doubted you for a minute. Graham?
You know, I agree with you, Harv. We should send away for a transcript of this one.
Honey, you're not going to believe...
Elizabeth, where's my snack? I sent you out to get me a snack and you come back with my shorts. Is that how you handle a hungry man?
Honey, at this very moment, our daughter Wendy isn't lounging in front of the TV. She is in the kitchen studying.
Wendy studying?
Yeah.
Ah, that's just a cover. I bet she's sneaking out.
You see, Graham, that is the difference between you and me. I trust my daughter.
Couldn't find her sneaking out clothes, huh?
Graham, she actually wants to get a good grade on her history test.
You're kidding.
No, she really means it. I don't know, maybe it was okay to tell Wendy that story about her phony IQ. Maybe it's okay to lie to kids for the greater good. Heck, maybe it's okay to lie to kids whenever you want to.
Now you're starting to sound like a professional educator. Sherry, I'll give it to you straight. All C's. Congratulations.
What? I'm average?
You sure are, young lady, and mighty average at that.
I don't want to be average.
Oh, honey, have you ever looked up the word average in the dictionary?
No, I haven't.
Then let's do that right now. Ah, here it is.
Sherry, you are a special child, blessed with the gift of being average. Nothing much is expected of you. Give me back that stinking brochure for our order. Give it here.
So that's what an average dream is like.
A thought occurred to me that I also want to address. So Wendy, this is going in with my headcanon that Wendy is actually very intelligent. Not a genius, she's very bright. Her IQ test that she took when she came to California did not show that she was a genius. Wendy is, especially prior to this, has been a bit of a slacker. So I think we can very easily make the assumption that she didn't try hard on this placement / IQ test that she took when she got to St. Augie's. So I'm holding out that she actually is still a genius.
Sherry, you're still watching television. Don't you have homework to do?
I've been doing homework for 2/3 of my life. Don't you think I deserve a rest?
Well, this isn't like you. Hey, how about a nice rousing game of Scrabble?
What is it with you people and Scrabble?
Sherry, honey, what is bothering you?
Nothing. Can't a kid have an off day?
Okay, you don't want to talk about it.
Mom, can I ask you a question and get an honest answer?
It would be my pleasure. Okay, shoot.
Do you think with the proper cosmetics assistance and a lucky hormonal spurt, I could get by in life just on my looks?
Well, sure you could get by, but...
Could I live well?
Well, what do you mean by live well?
A condo in Hawaii. Don't care which island.
Well, honey, people who get by on their looks are shallow and superficial.
Great. There goes plan B.
Honey, what are you talking about? Oh, Sherry, hold that thought. I'll be right back after I check up on Melissa.
Guess I'll have to go to plan C. C. That's perfect for an average student.
Sherry.
Hi, honey.
Hi. You seen our Sherry?
Yeah, I drank it last night.
What?
I like that joke. Call me crazy, but I like it. If we have another son, I'm going to call him Bud Light. I sense I picked a bad time for levity.
Graham, something very odd is going on around here.
You're telling me I toss out 2 hot ones and they just lay there.
Graham, I'm serious. Sherry's watching Wheel of Fortune and talking about condos. Wendy's shushing people in study hall. And JR got shoe polish all over his brand new commando shirt.
You bought him a new commando shirt? What happened to his old one? The one that said, kill them all and let God sort them out.
Mom, I need 2 jars of peanut butter, a loaf of bread, a bag of cookies, and a gallon of milk to go.
Whoa. We're not running a takeout joint here. What do you need all that food for?
Oh, I don't. It's for Sherry. She says it has to last for a week.
Cindy, what are you talking about? Where is Sherry?
Oh, no, you don't. I already blew the secret about Wendy being a genius. There's no way I'm going to spill the beans about Sherry. Oh, yeah, she likes some beans, too.
All right, Cindy, we respect your loyalty to your sisters. You don't have to tell us where Sherry is. We'll take care of the food order.
Okay, thanks.
Where do we send that food?
Oh, Sherry's treehouse. Darn!
And I've learned that I'm average, too. If any of my students want to drop this class, you're free to leave. Thank you for your loyalty. Say the password.
I built this damn treehouse. I don't need a stinking password.
Oh, great. It's Dad.
Honey, if we knew the password, we'd gladly say it.
Both parents. This is going to be a long, meaningful talk. This never happens on Roseanne.
Sherry!
Okay, come on up.
Oh, my. Isn't this cozy?
Oh, cut the small talk, Elizabeth. We're here on business. Oh.
Sherry? JR told us about your little visit to the school last night.
Yeah, I figured the eagle was a canary.
What's this crud about your IQ being low?
Saw it.
Back in New York.
I was lied to. Sisters and Neil pulled one of those teacher scams to get me motivated, to get me to apply myself, whatever the heck that means. Can you believe a professional educator would pull something like that?
Yeah?
Now look, before we drag some poor old dedicated nun through the mud, who, by the way, is probably dead, I think we should stick with the subject.
The subject is I've been living a lie.
Sherry, just reading an IQ score doesn't change who you are.
I don't understand. I don't know who I am anymore. I used to be the genius of the family and people treating me like I was special. And God help me, I loved it. And now, with my new less improved IQ, I'm just like everybody else. I'm not special.
Sherry? Honey, many different qualities make a person special. Like the way you always look out for other people, and how you sing your baby sister to sleep.
The way you bring me a beer even though your mother says I shouldn't have one?
Well, that IQ that you're so depressed about has given you a lot of A's.
Yes, that's true. 247, roughly.
Honey, listen to me. What possible difference should knowing your IQ have on your performance in school?
Well, none.
Exactly. See?
Mom, Dad! Guess what? I got an A- on my history test.
Well, that's right. That's
And that's just the beginning. I mean, you should have told me I had a high IQ years ago.
Now, young lady, that you know your IQ, I expect nothing. I expect nothing. Knowing your IQ had no effect on your performance.
Right. I mean, it made all the difference in the world.
Sure did.
Well, it couldn't have meant that much. I lied to her about her IQ.
You did what?
Honey.
You mean I'm not smart? I'm just average? Is this some kind of a cruel joke?
Honey, calm down. You have a great IQ. I was just kidding about lying.
Will you swear?
On his underwear.
Well,
Honey, listen, we'll celebrate a little later. I'll make some pudding.
oh, great. I'll shower.
Sherry, let me clear up this apparent contradiction here. Unless Elizabeth, you care to.
Oh, no, Glenn. You go right ahead.
Honey, remember the story about Dumbo, the elephant that could fly?
Sure I do.
Now, the only reason he thought he could fly was because he had the magic feather. But the magic feather wasn't magic at all. It was the fact that he believed in himself. Do you understand, honey?
I think so. You're saying that all those numbers mean what you want them to mean. The true test of intelligence is what you do with what you have.
That's brilliant. Maybe you are a genius.
Now, the most we can say is that she takes after her pop.
Mom, Dad, if you don't mind, I'd like to be alone to think for a while.
Oh, of course, sweetie.
Dad, are you ever going to tell Wendy she's not as smart as she thinks?
Oh, I'd never tell any of my kids that. You're all as smart as you think you are. That's the point to everything I've said.
Now, where were we? Ah, yes. Does anyone have anything exceptional to say about France? I didn't think so.
All right, so this was a Sherry heavy episode that didn't really feature a lot of JR, and that's going to become progressively more rare as we progress. Those two tend to be paired up, especially with the introduction of the Lubbock Babes, which is happening next week. I'm pretty excited about that one. So that is kind of where we're at right now. We're about a little more than halfway through season 2. We still have over 30 episodes left before we sadly have run out. So if you haven't subscribed, please do so. I post an episode every Thursday. I may have a few other very small things to post that I'll try to do time to time. I found a few of the interstitial bumpers that Just the 10 of Us filmed back when they were on TGIF. I don't have all of them, but I've come across a couple. They're not in good quality, but I do have them. And I'll share some things like that. If you have any Just the 10 of Us resources, please always feel free to share them in the comment, or even better, leave them in the Facebook group just to kind of share with everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next week.